Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85 back today after a few weeks or so of not making any content. I do apologize. Just a lot of personal stuff going on right now. So kind of taking it one day at a time here, but we are back today for another figure review. Today, definitely one I am really super excited for. We are gonna go ahead and take a look at my Titanic Creations Gorgo figure. So that's right, Gorgo. Titanic Creations, a small-ish company. They have been producing several of their own kaiju, made figures of them, even made comic books and whatnot. Like they have that one Soul War that they released. But now have started to delve into getting some more actual licensed kaiju, the first of which, of course, being Gorgo here. So this is the super articulated figure that they made. They also made a 30 centimeter, almost in the vein of an X Plus type figure version. They made a plush, and they also released a later version of this with more of the comic book type colors, so like a lighter, like a lighter skin tone, like a lighter green, etc., for that. But this was the first of the super articulated figures that they released for Gorgo here. So really, again, Gorgo of kaiju I've always loved. He's basic, or she, I should basically say, because this is depicting the mother, which is technically Ogra. But I'll mainly refer to her as Gorgo anyway. But the British version of Godzilla, essentially. So, but again, a Gorgo film I've always really liked a lot, and definitely really liked Gorgo as a kaiju. Gorgo / Ogra. So very happy to be able to get a figure of them. And I figured the time was now the time was right to do this review because of the fact that they've now got their latest licensed kaiju up for pre-order. That, of course, being the South Korean kaiju Yungary, or Yungary, however you want to pronounce that name. I always just say Yungary. So I'm definitely very tempted. I really would like to try and order that one. The pre-sale started a few days ago at the time of this recording, I should say, the April 23rd of this year, and goes until June 30th. So again, just some personal stuff going on. So I'm hoping if things can shake up and work out, then maybe I can try and order that Yungary figure, because I really would like it. They've currently, last I checked, it was up to about 360 orders placed for it so far. They're doing the same kind of campaign for it like they did for Gorgo here, which is where you get a certain amount of orders placed, unlocks a certain feature of it. And of course we'll get into her accessories here that she comes with. So but just kind of want to delve into some of that with you guys. I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to do this video, but my buddy Everett, aka Godzilla Fan Freaks, just seeing he's been on hiatus as well, but he came back the other day making an announcement video for the Titanic Creations Yungary. So kind of sparked me, thank you, Everett. You know what I mean? You're a really good buddy if you see this, and I just appreciate everything you do. And so kind of just lit a fire on my backside to maybe go ahead and knock out this review here. I'm very excited. I really love this figure, and I have it proudly displayed on my shelf. So let's go ahead and jump into it, though, folks. Let's take a look here. First, I'm going to start with the artwork. So this came with the box. It was like a clear plastic box, and you had all sorts of art all around. Just for space reasons, as is with most cases with my figures, I'm not able to keep the boxes, but I did want to take this poster art. This was done by Matt Frank, by the way, who's a famous artist who does a lot of Godzilla and kaiju stuff. Really excited to have this here. I think he did an absolutely fantastic job with this artwork. I really love it. Got the bottom there. You got that little insignia on the left, which I believe was for Dope Pope, who was the sculptor of the figure itself there. He's another well-known sculptor in the community. Then, of course, you got the Gorgo logoing, and then you got the Titanic Creations logo there on the bottom. So I wanted to keep all of that. So that's why I left that all on with this poster. Hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to actually put this up on the wall because, I really love it. It just looks awesome. Nothing on the back there, but I just wanted to show you guys real quick. And put this back down here, and let's go ahead and jump into the figure herself, I should say, as this, again, Mother Gorgo, aka Ogra. So the paint and the detail work really captured extraordinarily well, in my opinion anyways. So you got the sort of very darkish, almost like a military type green running along her body here. So that's sort of the main paint scheme. So, but there's different highlights. There's different sort of shadings of green done within that darkish green or gray almost. It's like a green-gray combo, basically. Let's take a look, though, at the face here. So, again, you can see that greenish-gray paint scheme. Got all the nice detail with the very nice pronounced eyebrows there. The eyes in this sort of orangish color. And, of course, you got the black pupil and white dot in the center there. And on both sides, again, painted very well. And the eyes are pretty much in line, basically. So nothing off as far as that sculpt goes. Looks really good. Very indicative of Gorgo's design. Got the rivets on the top of the head here, very well textured. You got those very signature sort of ears, I guess you would call them, ears, or like almost like fins or something on the back of her head here. A very signature of the Gorgo design there. Nice detail work, nice segmentation sculpted in on the sides of these ears. Very cool. That's like a real standout feature of Gorgo's design. I love that. Got the nostrils etched in very well here. And of course, you got the mouth, the inside of the mouth there. You got that tongue in a sort of pinkish, peachish color, if you will. And then, of course, more of the same for the roof of the mouth. And nice detail work for the roof of the mouth. Hopefully, the camera somewhat picks it up for you guys. Again, that pinkish, peachish color. And all the detail work done for the roof of the mouth. The teeth done in this sort of off-white bone color, I would say. And they are pretty much individually sculpted, as you guys can see here. So it's not like a Bandai figure where it's just painted on. These are actually sculpted in, from what I can see anyways. And they look really good. Look nice and sharp. And just really done well. Nice and clean looking, I think so. And of course, you got the neck again. More of the greenish gray paint scheme on the back of the neck. And on the front, you've got this sort of tannish cream color done for the front part of the neck. And that runs down into the chest and abdomen area and runs all the way down through on the bottom side of the tail. So that's sort of her paint scheme here for the front part. And of course the arms you got again with the greenish gray hair. Nice detail work for scaling and what have you. Both sides of the arms here. Hopefully you guys are picking that up with the camera. And you got the hands done in this sort of cuffed sort of pose, which is pretty indicative of how Gorgo/Ogro was in the film. Nice sharp finger claws there, done in this, I would say, almost like a grayish bone color, if you will, with a little bit of like a pink hue as the nails, slash claws sort of join into the fingers there. You guys can sort of pick that up. So I guess to give it somewhat of a natural look, I definitely like that. It's a cool little addition there. Nice sculpting for the fingers all around, as well as the hands. You can see all the detail done for the palms there. As you guys can see, really looks good. Again, that tannish cream color running down the chest and abdomen and all, and you got nice detail work on all these different grooves and scales on her chest and abdomen here, as well as the neck and all that. And of course on the legs, you got more of the scales on the legs. Nice musculature as well. Of course, running down all the way down the legs. And of course, the nicely sculpted feet for her, which are fairly large, and that's basically how it was in the film as well. So again, nice and accurate there, nice detail work. And just like with the finger claws, the toe claws also have that sort of grayish bone color, if you will, with that pinkish hue where they join into the toes themselves. Again, I think that's really cool. They look nice and sharp here. The bottom, you got more detail work, and then also to point out, you got the Titanic Creations logo on this foot there, the bottom of this foot, and then the bottom of this one here. You've got the Gorgo logo. The camera picks that up. And then the Dope Pope logoing there. Again, just hopefully the camera showcases for you guys. So very, very cool. Nice little trademark. Information on the bottoms of both feet. And of course the tail, nice and segmented very well. All the scales running on both the top part of the tail and on the underside here. Again, the different contrasting color. You got that darkish green-gray color, and then of course the tannish cream color on the underside, and that sort of blends in towards the end of the tail with the darker green-gray, as you guys can see here. And then of course I want to point out on the back, all the scales, the sort of, I don't know if you would necessarily call them dorsal plates, running on all the rows on the backs here, or almost like an armor plating, really, I would almost call that, running all from the back of the head all the way down the body and down all the way to the tip of the tail. And they really didn't skip a beat here. Nicely detailed. I really applaud you guys at Titanic Creations. You guys just did a absolutely fantastic job here, in my opinion. So and that pretty much, I think that pretty much mostly covers it for the paint and the detail here. Now, as far as articulation goes, so again, this is a super articulated figure, not fully to the level of like an SH Monster Arts, but I noticed a lot of people equating this to like a NECA or maybe even a Haya type figure. So I can kind of see that. To me, the difference between this and a NECA, like a NECA Godzilla figure, are the joints are a little bit smoother, so it's not as stiff and makes you scared that you're going to break things when you try to articulate her. So just a showcase for you guys. So we'll start here at the head, where it joins into the top of the neck. It's a ball joint, so you can get her looking down a little bit there. She'll look up for you. You guys can see there. I'll move my hand away just again so you guys can see her looking down about that far. You can turn side to side, and of course if you want, you can spin it all the way around. It's a ball joint, so it moves pretty freely. Like I said, the jaw here is on a hinge, so you can open it about that wide. I think that's about as wide as you can get it there. And of course you can pretty much close it all the way. So nice posability there out of the jaw. And then, of course, moving down here at the base of the neck, another ball joint here. Just because of the sculpt, though, the range of motion is going to be fairly limited, but you can add a little bit of range for her looking down and ever so slightly a range for her to look up. So you can get about that far there. And, of course, you can turn it. This one, just again, because of the sculpt, you're probably not going to be able to get it to go all the way around, but you can turn left, left and right. So you can get her looking in some different ways there. So just a showcase for you guys. So pretty cool there. And then, of course, moving down into the arms, where the arms join into the shoulders. They are on a like a ball hinge combo, I would call it, because you can see that sort of hinge there on the underside. The arms, like the pit area. It's like a ball hinge basically, though. So you can get them to go up there, like a bit of a T-pose, but you can get them down like that, and they will spin all the way around. So nice bit of range of motion there. You got hinges at the elbows here, so you can hinge them out like that. You guys can see. And hinge them inward like that. And you can even rotate as well, so you get a bit of rotation there, just like you do where they meet at the shoulders. So very, very cool. And then of course the wrists are on a ball joint, so you get your swivel just like that, and a little bit of hinge, not too much, but you can get a little bit of motion to hinge it. So again, the other side, swivel, and just a very slight bit of hinge. So again, just the sculpt of the figure just kind of limits some of that range of motion, but just trying my best to showcase for you guys. Now you got the waist here, you got the joint, a ball joint here, so you can get a almost non-existent, I would say, ab crunch, and you can pull it back slightly like that for the arch, and you can turn it side to side. You probably, yeah, you could spin it all the way around. I don't know that I would really necessarily recommend doing that, but you can do that. So not bad, not too bad for what it is. And then of course the legs, where they join into the body here. So these are on a ball joint. You know, you can get a little bit of splits like that. Go inward. Of course, you can kick forward and back, and it will, of course, go all the way around both sides, of course. So you guys can see there. The knees, just like the elbows, are on hinges. So you can do ever so slightly hinge forward and hinge back. So just to showcase. So little stiff, but not terrible though. To me, NECA figures are stiffer than these, but yeah. You get a nice little range of motion there, and you can swivel it as well, because of that joint allows for the swiveling motion, so you guys can see there. Very, very cool. Now, the ankles here are on ball joints as well, and it's kind of similar to the wrist ball joints, so you're not going to get too much forward and back motion out of it, but you can certainly swivel it, and it'll swivel all the way around on both sides here, as you guys can see, and just ever so slightly of a hinge on that ball joint there on both sides. So but then you also get a hinge for the toes here, as you guys can see on both sides. So those can go have a real nice length, almost a little too loose, but it's a nice range of motion there. So you can hinge them forward and back, and definitely get some nice movement out of that. So certainly appreciate that. And last but certainly not least, the tail. Multiple ball jointed segments throughout the tail. So no bendy wire here, thankfully, knock on wood. I'm not a fan of bendy wires. So the tail, like I said, multi-segmented ball joints. So you can go down. Of course, that pops out, but that's just standard fare. I mean, you know, SH Monster Arts is notorious for that as well, folks. But you can definitely, just trying to showcase for you guys, you can get a nice range of motion there for sure, so you can get different poses out of that. Really, really cool, I think. And I think that pretty much covers it for articulation here. So next we're going to go into sizing. And I got the ruler here first. So she is supposed to be in the 6-inch scale. So I know there have been some complaints about sizing being a little small for Gorgo, but I think it's really not too bad, honestly. I don't think it's too big of an issue. I think it pretty much works, especially for 6-inch figures. 7-inch, maybe a little bit on the short side, but to me, really not terrible. So you can see, lift up the camera for you guys. And you can see it basically at the top of that ear there. It's just about at the 6-inch range. So it's supposed to essentially fall into that 6-inch range. But not terrible, though. And certainly will fit in well with some of your other, like your SH Monster Arts figures. So for the purposes of this, I thought a good pairing would be the 1954 Godzilla. So the OG Godzilla. And you guys can see here, the sizing is actually really, really done well. I mean, these are completely different companies. These, not just the figures, but the kaiju themselves. So, I mean, don't necessarily have to have it be perfect. But I think, though, for the purposes of this, I think the sizing actually works quite well, if I do say so myself. So, definitely like it. And now we'll move on to accessories, because like I said, we do have the accessories, and all of the ones that they had up when they did the pre-order, of course, they were all by a long shot unlocked. I would certainly expect the same thing will happen with young Gary, so I'm just hoping I can get a hold of that one. So what I want to start with for the accessories, because you get several, is first and foremost the baby Gorgo. And of course, essentially the titular character of who the film was named after, because this is technically Gorgo, and like I said, she is technically the mother, Ogra. But basically, this is one sculpted plastic piece, so there's no articulation on it. But the baby, essentially the same design as the mother, and they really didn't skip on the detail work. I mean, you can see that creamish tan color that goes from the neck all the way down through the bottom of the tail, and then of course the darker greenish gray color on the other side and there, the back side of the body, along the legs and the arms, of course on the face and what have you, and of course all on the back. That nice attention to that armor plating on the back running down to the tip of the tail. And they really put some nice detail work on it. You can even see that orangish color for the eyes, if the camera wants to cooperate. So let's try to showcase for you guys here. But yeah, definitely, like I said, definitely did not skimp on that. Next up, we will take a look at the Bell sub, which I think was the next unlockable anyway. So this is done in this sort of, I don't know, bronzish, copperish / brownish color scheme. Just basically one color all around, but some nice detail work. You got that part where the like the bungee cord or whatever it was that hooked into the top of the diving bell here. Again, some nice detail work for the patterning of it, and of course you got the hatch there in the center. And just to kind of showcase for you guys, very, very cool. And then next up, which was my personal favorite of these accessories, is good old Big Ben. I absolutely love this thing. It's gorgeous. Nice gold paint scheme for the main color of the tower. And then, of course, you got the white and the black for the clock part of Big Ben here anyways. And then this sort of bluish, tealish color done towards the roof for the different parts mixed in with the gold. Nice detail work for the tower all around. I definitely like it a lot. And you can even see some scratch marks there where Ogre was attacking. And another cool part is this does actually have a breakaway part. So you can take it off and have like Gorgo smashing the tower up if you want, just to showcase for you guys like that. Really, really cool. And then when you want to put it back together, you just line it up like such. Very, very awesome though. So really, really awesome. Definitely love having this Big Ben accessory. Big Ben, kids. Parliament. So really, really appreciate that. Next up, I almost forgot these just because I had them off to the side here. Get these 3 jets that also came with it. I just had it off to the side because it's very tricky getting these to stand. I'll kind of showcase for you guys here. Just lift the camera up and bring it over. Here, let me slide it forward first, see if I can make that work here. So you get the 3 jets, these sort of grayish jets with the black paint for the cockpit area there. Nice little detail work for the jets. Nothing too crazy, but definitely gets the job done. And then, of course, you got these black wires here that connect down into that little black sort of peg base there at the bottom. Of course, everything is detachable from one another. I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this review, though, just because of the fact that, like I said, it's very, very tricky getting this to balance correctly. The main problem is the base is, unfortunately, it's really, really light. So it has a little bit of problems supporting the weight here of the wires and the jets. Now, one thing to note, though, I did speak to Mac McKintlock, I believe his last name was. He was at Tucson Kaiju Festival, which, again, was hosted by my friend Everett, Godzilla Fan Freaks. Mac's a really cool guy. I think he was there. I think he was with his wife or whatever. But nonetheless, though, I mean, I told him how much I love the figure, but I did speak to him about this base here for the jets, that they really need to try to do something, either make it, larger and heavier so that it can support the weight. And he actually agreed. He acknowledged that he knew that was an issue. So I know they're supposed to have, if it gets unlocked, the jets and a helicopter for young Gary. So hopefully they'll get that issue sorted out for that release. But again, though, he was a really awesome guy. And, Mac, if you see this, I definitely love this figure a lot. So, but yeah, let's try to see if we can get that base fixed up for those planes. So I just want to switch and all that back. I'll probably leave the accessories out. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, the final unlock was let's put these back there so they're in view. An alternate head for Gorgo, aka Ogra, where these eyes are light up. Now, I believe initially they were supposed to have like an electronic feature so that you switch it on and the eyes light up that way, but instead they made them glow in the dark. Maybe I'll take a quick pause here and see if I can just showcase for you guys in a pitch black room if we can get it to light up. So bear with me just one moment. Alright, well, I tried for you guys. Looked like it was an unsuccessful test. You got to hold them up to a light, and then you shut out the light. I could see the glow-in-the-dark feature showing up a little bit on the eyes in person, but I don't think it picked it up on the camera. At least it didn't seem to, so I do apologize about that, but I wanted to at least give it the old college try for you guys. Nonetheless, though, very, very awesome, all the accessories we get here. And young Gary, if everything gets released, it'll be even more than this. So very, very cool stuff. So again, like I said, I really love this figure. Lastly, as far as pricing goes, I mean, unless anybody's selling theirs on eBay or anything like that, really, you want to try to look on Titanic Creations site. They do, from what I last saw, they actually do still have a limited run left of this particular incarnation. And I think once it's sold, it's sold. I don't think they're going to produce any more. I could be wrong, but that's essentially what we're looking at. Now, they do also, for that limited time span, have the comic book version of it with the sort of lighterish green paint scheme done for Gorgo / Ogra. So if you guys are interested in that, like I said, visit TitanicCreations.com and check them out. See what they got there. very, very awesome. I definitely am a proponent of supporting these small businesses. Really, like I said, Mac's a really cool guy, and definitely wish him success. So I'm hoping somehow things will work out so I can order the young Gary figure. But again, definitely feel free to check them out, folks. So if you look though, the price when this came out was $100. Now I think on their site it's about $130. So just keep that in mind. But if you're willing to pay to play and you want an articulated Gorgo figure in your collection, in my opinion, Titanic Creations Gorgo is second to none. 2 thumbs up from ZillaFan85 here, folks. Other than that, I think that about wraps it up for this one. I see I've already extended over half an hour, so I apologize, but a lot to go over. But hopefully I'll be back. I don't know how often I'm going to be posting. Like I said, just a lot of stuff I'm dealing with, but, definitely have plans of what I want to review next and what have you. So, just stay tuned, folks. But, if you guys have made it this far, I definitely would like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.